Do you believe that a single wrong turn by a chauffeur could slaughter 10 million people and erase 4 of the planet's greatest empires? Imagine a sun-drenched Sunday morning in Sarajevo in June 1914. A festive atmosphere fills the air. The scent of roses mingles with the cheers of crowds waiting to welcome Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. But hidden behind those smiles, in the shadows of narrow alleys, 6 loaded pistols and primed bombs were waiting for the slightest mistake to strangle the peace of all humanity. That day, destiny played a cruel hand. A failed assassination attempt, a disastrous navigational error, and then 2 dry cracks of a pistol rang out in front of a roadside deli. This was not merely the murder of a royal. It was the spark that ignited a massive powder keg called Europe, officially collapsing the old world order and plunging mankind into the darkness of the most brutal Great War in modern history. Today, we aren't just recounting a crime. We are dissecting every fateful second of this Sarajevo shot, where a moment of pure coincidence permanently altered the flow of human history. To understand why Ferdinand was targeted, we must look at the Balkans of that era. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was a massive but crumbling mosaic of ethnicities, struggling to maintain its grip on Bosnia. Meanwhile, neighboring Serbia was burning with the ambition to unite the Slavic peoples into a greater Serbia. Hatred for the Habsburg monarchy in Vienna reached a fever pitch, leading to the birth of the Black Hand, a secret Serbian military society. They recruited young, fervent, yet radicalized students to ensure the Archduke would not leave Sarajevo alive. Among them was Gavrilo Princip, a frail 19-year-old suffering from tuberculosis, but driven by a singular, obsessive resolve. The assassination itself was actually a comedy of errors on the part of security forces, and a terrifying coincidence of fate. At 10 a.m., as the Archduke's open-top motorcade rolled down the embankment, one assassin threw a bomb. It bounced off the folded roof of the car and exploded under the vehicle behind them. Ferdinand remained unharmed, but after the reception at the town hall, he made a decision that would change history. He insisted on visiting the officers wounded by that morning's blast. The hand of fate and the aftermath. This is where a fatal mistake occurred. The lead driver of the motorcade was never informed of the change in route. As he turned onto Franz Joseph Street, a general on board shouted for him to stop and turn back. The driver slammed on the brakes, and the car stalled directly in front of a delicatessen where Gavrilo Princip was standing, brooding over the morning's failure. Fate had placed the target right before his eyes. Princip stepped forward and fired 2 shots at point-blank range. One pierced the Archduke's neck, and the second struck Duchess Sophie in the abdomen. In his final moments, Ferdinand could only whisper a plea for his wife to stay alive with their children before they both succumbed on the way to the hospital. While initially viewed as a local crisis, the intricate web of alliances across Europe triggered an unstoppable chain reaction. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia mobilized to protect its Slavic brothers. Germany declared war on Russia and France. And Britain finally joined to defend Belgian neutrality. Within 37 days, the world's superpowers were locked in a conflict they thought would be over by Christmas. But it lasted 4 agonizing years. The death of Franz Ferdinand executed 4 great empires: the German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian, while completely redrawing the world map. Gavrilo Princip did not live to see the total devastation he caused. He died of disease in prison in 1918, just months before the war ended. This story reminds us that history is not always decided by grand macro strategies, but sometimes by a driver's wrong turn, a lone assassin buying a sandwich, and a sequence of prideful blunders by politicians that pushed humanity into the abyss. The echoes of those 2 shots still resonate today, serving as a haunting reminder of how fragile the peace of our world truly is. Thank you for joining us for this episode on the Sarajevo shot. We hope this journey back to 1914 has given you a clearer vision of the moment the world truly caught fire. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that shaped our reality.